Gen Z is flooding into Charlotte, and most of them are not buying homes.
That's right. New data released by Rent Cafe shows the number of Gen Z renters in the Queen City have jumped sixfold in the last 5 years, from roughly 8,000 to 60,000. And while some of them are buying, the vast majority are still renting.
All right, so let's bring up back our chief business correspondent, Taylor Young, to talk about this. So these numbers are pretty striking. What do they tell us about what's happening in the Charlotte housing market?
Yeah, and I think that's the bigger story here. This is not a story about renting versus buying. This is about a generation arriving fast and not really able to kind of transition into that home ownership as quickly as other generations have. So what we're seeing here in Charlotte is really a wave of young workers. They're landing great jobs, they're seeing pay growth, they're building their careers, but they're not transitioning into home ownership again as quickly as previous generations have. This is not about a lack of willingness or want to be homeowners. It's just not happening because of affordability.
Okay, so what's the attraction to Charlotte? Why are so many Gen Zers migrating here?
Yeah, I mean, the numbers are crazy, from 8,000 to 60,000. And it's really not just Charlotte, it's North Carolina as a whole. It's Charlotte, it's Raleigh, it's Winston-Salem that have really seen a massive jump in younger workers compared to other parts of the country too. And there's really, the biggest reason is just the strong job opportunities here. I mean, we have a variety of industries from tech to finance, business, manufacturing, healthcare, and these are diversified. So that really kind of puts a buffer against a potential job recession. I mean, Charlotte in general and North Carolina is just sitting strong when it comes to the industries. It's not necessarily recession proof, but people are landing jobs here a lot easier than they are in other parts of the country. I think it's also just more affordable. 10, 20 years ago, you saw the 20-somethings of that time really kind of gravitating towards large hubs like New York City or LA and California. And now Charlotte and North Carolina is kind of sitting in this sweet spot where you can still get that suburban lifestyle, but maybe only pay $2,000 for rent compared to other cities where it could be double or triple that.
Okay, so why do we see this gap between renting and owning? It's pretty wide. I think I know why. It might have to do something with those house prices. Is that the reason why?
Well, I mean, and it's not just Charlotte or North Carolina. I mean, right now, the average age of a first-time home buyer is 40 years old. That's a millennial, and there are millennials who are 30 right now. So this is not just a Gen Z problem. But yeah, you're right. It's housing affordability prices. I mean, the average home in Charlotte right now is $400,000. I mean, if you consider trying to be a first-time buyer, that's a lot of money. And then you kind of bring interest rates into that as well. So that's what is really generally keeping a lot of people, not just Gen Zers, also the millennials and some Gen X, really renting a lot longer than usual. But I think that Charlotte developers have noticed that, right? We've seen a massive boom in apartment complexes going up over the last couple of years. They clearly foresaw this wave of people moving here. So at least when people do come to the Charlotte area, they have options to choose from, which could in theory keep rent prices from increasing dramatically.
Yeah, they're going up, it seems, by the day. There's always a new one popping up. Taylor, thank you so much.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.